Hi, Mr. Vice President. I'm Chet Depew. I'm Director of Marketing at Style Rent. Today we're going to be talking about the program that we did with the two hotels at the cold weather and warm weather locations of Broadway hotels, and what info that we could gather is relevant and what is the target market. So I think we should get the information that I think we should gather is the zip code of all the people going to the hotels, how much they spend traveling, and if they're on business or not, what's the purpose of their travel, traveling there, whether they use social media or not, because maybe some customers are using our outfits to buy social media. And I think it's important to plan how we're going to market this so we know what our target customers are. So we know what type of people to advertise to, so we can not advertise to people that wouldn't be using this service and wasting money on that, and to identify the right market. And we can do that through finding out things about them, why they're there, what sometimes demographics work. I think the most important one here would be between men and women, because men and women's clothing, that's probably the biggest difference demographic wise. I think income could also be important, area and how far they traveled and what's the purpose of their travel. So the questions that I think would be the best for this business program are they on business, or are they there for a wedding? What is the company covering? How much of their own clothes did they bring, or did they bring their own clothes at all? What is the main reason why they are renting? What level of style of clothes are they renting? Because there's casual, semi-formal, and formal. And if so, are you renting the clothes for like pictures for social media or another purpose? I think I think some more important data to gather is whether they're at the cold or warm weather hotel, and what the difference between those the clothes rented and the time of year that they're going. I think those are two important distinctions. And so the problems I think that could arise from the hotel are what needs to be communicated to the Broadway hotel staff. I think we need to communicate how to handle our products properly, how to talk to customers to get them interested in our products, how to help them pick out their products, how to deliver them to them, how to properly interact with customers, and how to identify and how to obviously sell them properly, identify the correct prices. And I think the biggest benefit of this service to hotel guests, I think, would actually be that they don't have to bring their clothes with them, or much clothes, a lot less luggage with them on vacation. And if there are people on business, they don't have to dry clean their suits, or maybe they work for a company that's business casual, but the business event would be business formal. They wouldn't have to buy maybe new clothes for this event. And the biggest complaint by hotel staff is how to handle all these clothes, how they're going to get them, from what facility are they getting that? Do they keep them in the hotel? How do they get them back, and how do they send them back properly? I think that could be the biggest problem with the hotel. But so I think, in my opinion, I think the greatest market for this service is going to be people on business, or people going to a wedding, one of those two. And for the same reasons I mentioned, both of them more formal events, and that's not something everybody has clothes for. And a wedding can actually be multiple nights, also depending on cultures. But even in our culture, you got the rehearsal dinner and you have the wedding ceremony. That's two different outfits. And maybe you're going to a bachelor or a bachelorette party before, 3 different outfits. That's something that you could really use our service for. I think people could benefit from this, men and women, because they need different outfits for different events. Women especially, because women's clothing is a lot more fluctuating than men's clothing. So I think a good portion of our market could be women, but I don't think we should count out men, especially regarding the formality of weddings and business events, which I still think men and women are our two biggest markets. I think another one might be people who are going on vacation, maybe on a little bit of a budget, that would want to get an outfit to flex for social media. But I think the data that we gather through these hotels, which is geographic, cost-based, maybe income-based, age. I also think age is also a big factor, and the purpose of their trip and whether they packed or not. I think those are the most important demographics and statistics to get from hotels. And I think with that, we can identify a market, and I think it'll be people for weddings and business to formal events. Conventions too. Conventions maybe that are not necessarily business, but actually business-related conventions, so that you're representing your business. I think that could also be another big factor, which I would say lump in with business. So business conferences and conventions, pitches, things like that. You go to your corporate, and weddings. Those are, I think, our two big markets, and then the smaller market of people on a budget that maybe want to flex or show off some nice clothes for social media. So I think that is all I have for you. Thank you. That was bad, but I don't have time to not use that. Also, that might almost 10 minutes.
Just cut